اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد أفضل صلواتك بعدد معلوماتك وبارك وسلم وصل عليه. So again, ayah number 104. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them, تَعَالَوْا إِلَى مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ, come to that which Allah has sent down, means the Quran. وَإِلَى الرَّسُولِ, and to the messenger. قَالُوا, they say, mean the mushrikeen, حَسْبُنَا مَا وَجَدْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا, enough for us is that on which we have found our fathers. أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا, so they will follow their fathers even though if they were not understanding anything. وَلَا يَعْتَدُونَ, and nor they were getting guidance. They were neither knowledgeable people nor guided people. So one is ilm and one is ihtida, guidance. So guidance is the approach of aql, and ilm, that is known. So it means that a person would be followed if he has two things. Based on aql, he is the guided person. His intellectual approach is exemplary. And in the field of knowledge, he is a knowledgeable scholar. Got it? Got it? So these are two things which are meant there in ayah. And the third thing, of course, when he is guided one, so it means that he is a practical Muslim. He is muttaqi. So three things. Number one, a mujtahid must have istidlal, how to argue. Number two, he must have a comprehensive knowledge of Quran and Sunnah and deduction. And number three, his piety and taqwa is exemplary. Got it? Yes. And that what was there in these mujtahideen, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Their knowledge was comprehensive. Their istidlal or arguments are exemplary. When I give you their arguments regarding every issue, so whenever I mention the arguments of Imam Malik, so that is amazing. Then when I go to Imam Shafi, so that is amazing. When I mention the arguments by Imam Ahmad, that's amazing. And when I go to our own Imam, so that is extra amazing. Yes? Got it? Or not it? So he mentioned in detail that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do deduction. At the same time, Sahaba were doing deduction. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not in their approach, then after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this world, Sahaba were doing deduction. I give you the examples. Tabi'een learned from them, the second generation. They did deduction. And then Atba'ut Tabi'een, the third generation, they were doing deduction. In four Imams, only Imam Abu Hanifa is from the second generation. He is Tabi'i. The remaining three, they are from third generation. They are Atba'u Tabi'in. Now Sahaba were doing deduction, Tabi'in were doing Atba'u Tabi'in. They were hundreds in number. Got it? But now, why these four? The Muslims Ummah, in general, they follow whom? They are these four. So why these four? Otherwise, there were very great Imams. Like as Imam Shafi Rahmatullah alayhi said about Faqih Misr, who? Lays ibn Sa'ad Rahmatullahi alayhi, that he was greater a Faqih than my Sheikh Imam Malik. He was greater a Faqih and jurist than my own Sheikh Imam Malik. But unfortunately, his work is not preserved. Unfortunately, his work is not preserved. Got it? So somebody said, in the context, وَعَنْ أَبِي Hanifa, and he was greater a Faqih from Abu Hanifa. So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah alayhi said, مَاذَا تَقُولُ يَا أَخُويا? What are you saying, brother? Abu Hanifa, huwa Abu Hanifa. Yes, just change the tone. Wa Abu Hanifa, huwa Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa is Abu Hanifa. And then he said his famous share, فَإِنَّ النَّاسَ أَعْيَالٌ بِفِقْهٍ عَلَى فِقْهِ الْإِمَامِ أَبِي حَنِيفَةٍ. That the jurists, the attorneys, the judges, the law expert, all over the world, they are just like kids and children of Abu Hanifa. Got it? Got it or not?
Yes.
So now, what happened to these fours? These four, that people are following them. Number one, their work was preserved and compiled by their students. Number two, their approach is much more reasonable. And number three, their followers in different parts of the world, they got into rule and authority. They became the rulers. They became the kings. They became the khulafa. And they implemented their fiqh. They implemented their fiqh. And that what Ibn al-Mu'taz said, that al-mulku bid-dini yaqwa. Al-mulku bid-dini, ad-dinu bil-mulki yaqwa. Wal-mulku bid-dini yabqa. If you will implement the deen of Allah, so your kingdom, it will remain. Got it? And if you will implement the deen of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, so your kingdom will get strength and power. And when you will implement deen, so by that, the deen will become qawi and much more stronger. Got it? Say,
Yes.
that is. So three reasons. Number one, their work is preserved by their student. Number two, reasonable. Number three, implemented. Whatsoever is in practice, yes, it becomes famous. Yes or not? Now a time came when Khulafa were asking these fuqaha to have an opinion of their choice. Yes? At that time, that was the nature of Khulafa and rulers. Now that is the nature of every Muslim. Yes? Every Muslim, when they ask you a question, so they want to get a fatwa from your mouth of his choice. Yes, to make unlawful lawful for him. Yes, but I say in black and white, brother, this is what I know from deen. If you are looking for something else, So you are a free man, and this is a free world, and you can move anywhere, and you can go to anybody. Yes or not?
Yes.
But people are trying to put their own words in the mouth of Mufti. Yusuf,
Yes.
be on red alert. Yes, this is a long way to go. You will face all these things, but be strict. Got it? Otherwise, meaning-wise, you will lose your sanad. Even though Mufti Sahib will not withdraw it from you. Got it?
Yes.
But in manavi sense, that is withdrawn because you are not following the path of your elders. No compromise on deen. What is the path of our elders?
No compromise.
No compromise on deen. When we do compromise, two things: vested interest and fear of death. Got it or not it? Say.
Yeah.
So these fuqaha, rahimahumullah, khulafa were trying to put them on their side, to accept the status in the state. Qazi, judge, Shaykhul Islam, Mufti, and just name it. Different titles. And then, when you are with them, so they will ask a favor. Yes, when you will be eating roasted chicken, yes, and tandoori, and barbecue, and after that, the ice cream that is provided by the state and the government. So then when the king or the ruler or the president or the prime minister will ask you for a favor, yes, we have weakness. Then with if and buts, we are giving an opinion according to their desire. Got it? And that's what Qazi Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayhi, he was visiting Imam in jail. And Imam was getting beaten every day with lashes. Got it? Because if you want to torture someone, the easy way is that he is actually trying to depose the Khalifa. So in other words, that he is committing high treason. So then just beat him. Got it? So Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayhi said to Imam that, Imam, accept this post. Be a Qazi. So Imam rahmatullahi alayhi, he said, why? He said, because somebody has to accept it. Because qaza is a need. Qaza is a need. So if you are there, that is good. And then he gave example, look, this Sahabi was a Qazi, he was doing it, this Sahabi was a Qazi. And so Imam rahmatullahi alayhi was looking at him. He was Qazi with Abu Bakr. And he was a Qazi with Umar. And this one was Qazi with Usman. And this one was a Qazi with Ali. What do you think about your own khulafa? In history, have you found that any of these khulafa has ever asked any favor from any Qazi? Say, when the Qazi summoned in a case Sayyidina Umar, he came there as a defendant and he was standing there in front of Qazi Zayd ibn Sabit radiyallahu anhu. Got it? When Qazi Shuraih, he summoned Amir al-Mu'mineen Sayyidina Ali. Ali was there in the court, standing as Mudda alayh and defendant. Got it? Or not it?
Yeah.
They never said law of immunity. Khalifa. Khalifa has what? Immunity. Khalifa has what? Exemption. No, like as the president has. Yes, as long as the president is president, head of the state. So he has immunity. The court cannot summon him. Yes? But there was no immunity. Here the summon came, here he came. He presented his case. So anyhow, Imam Abu Hanifa said that Rasulullah said that al-qudatu salasa, judges are of three types. Qazin ya'lamu al-haqqa wa yaqzi bihi. One is a judge who knows the law and he decrees accordingly. He knows the law and he decrees accordingly. وَقَازٍ لَا يَعْلَمُ الْحَقَّ وَيَقْضِي. And a qazi, he is a jahil. He is not a qualified person. And he is judging. And وَقَازٍ يَعْلَمُ الْحَقَّ وَلَا يَقْضِي بِهِ. And third is one who is qualified person, but he is going for bribe. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Qazin fil Jannah wa Qaziyani fil Nar. One judge is in Jannah and two of them in types. One type of judges, they are in Jannah, and two types of them, they are in hellfire. May Allah protect all of us. And then he said to Qazi Abu Yusuf, rahmatullahi alayh, that وَأَرَاكَ يَا عَقُوب تَقْبَلُهَا. Yes, I feel and I see that you will accept it. I see that you will accept it. وَلَكِنْ Yusuf, وَلَكِنْ Imam said, وَلَكِنْ كَيْفَ بِكْ إِذَا مَا تَسْكُنُ الْفِرُوزَجَ وَتَأْكُلُ الْفَلُوزَجَ. Think of that time when you will be living in a marble castle. Al-Firuzaj mean? Marble made castle. Yes, and you will be eating soft food like faluda, because faluda was very famous. كيف بك إذا ما تسكن الفيروزج وتأكل الفلوزج. And later on, when Qazi Abu Yusuf was Chief Justice of Harun Rashid, and once Harun never asked him to give me a favor, but once, because he used to come to masjid and to pray with the Imam, Khalifa. So he sent message that I'm a little bit busy, so please delay the prayer a little bit from its time. Delay for whom? For the Khalifa. So Qazi Abu Yusuf said, Sadaqa Shaykhi rahimahullah. Yes, my Shaykh was right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. He told me, he said that for a while, it came to my mind that Khalifa has provided me that big castle house. Yes, and now after Zohar prayer, once again, the roasted lamb will come, the psa. Yes, and then after that, the faluda will come. Yes, so that was pressing me toward just delay it. Yes, but right away he said, Iqama, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Shadu Allah ilaha illallah, Shadu Allah ilaha. Because Imam Rahmatullah alayhi says that if the Imam is in ruku and somebody entered here, yes, and he recognized him, and then he prolonged the ruku only to provide him the opportunity to join that rakat. But he has known that this is Maul Yusuf. So Imam Rahmatullah said this is shirk khafi, because prayer is only for Allah. Why you are mixing somebody else with that? But if the person entering, he did not know it, that who is that, and then he prolonged, so Imam said, وَيُجْزَى بِهِ. He will be getting reward because he provided an opportunity for a Muslim to join a rakat. This Imam was amazing. I don't know what type of man he was. Naqib, what do you think? What type of Baba he was? Huh? Yes. So, so when the Khulafa, they were asking for those favors, and when all these four, they never accepted any post. Have they? Say. They never accepted. So now what the Khulafa were doing? they were appointing non-qualified judges. And non-qualified judges, because they were aware of their status, that I am not that much qualified for, but I have been given this post. So he was giving them the favor. He was giving the Khalifa the favor. And thus, these imams and their students, they got to a point that this deen must be preserved. Otherwise, later on, what game the people will be playing with this deen? So then they started compiling this deen from the days of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the deduction, all the tatbiq and the application. And they compiled this fiqh. Got it? They compiled this fiqh. Mostly our fiqh of Abu Hanifa is compiled by Imam Abu Yusuf and Imam Muhammad. Big portion is by Imam Muhammad. By who? Imam Muhammad rahmatullah is small and big. He has written 999 books. Got it? Got it or not? Yes. And I told you that his famous books are 6 in number. Say. No. Just say like this. Al-Jami' al-Saghir, Al-Jami' al-Kabir, Al-Siyar al-Saghir, Al-Siyar al-Kabir, Al-Mabsut, Al-Ziyadat. But in hadith, his famous book is Kitab al-Asar. What? And Muwatta Imam Muhammad. Kitab al-Asar and Muwatta Imam Muhammad. So anyhow, I told you that one Britisher, he became Muslim because of this one book of Imam Muhammad. Because he was writing his thesis in PhD, yes, on Islamic international law. On what? Islamic international law. So for Islamic international law, As-Siyar al-Saghir and As-Siyar al-Kabir, these are the two basic, we call them Ummahatul Kutub. For this subject, that is Ummahatul Kutub. These are the mother books. They are what? Not, it does not mean that some mother wrote it. No, this book itself is a mother of those laws. Got it? And then when he was writing his PhD, he said it took me to a point that this is the work of Muhammad the Junior. Let me see what Muhammad the Senior said. So he said, then I was studying a hadith. And then he came to a masjid and he said, Kalima, there is no way out. Got it or not it? So they compiled it in such a way. And they established rules of deduction. Otherwise, everybody, he will be deducing on his own. Yes? Like a bull broken the rope. What he will do? He will crush everything. So they encircled the deduction. What they did? Encircled the deduction. That must be inside this circle. And they put the conditions or the qualities for mujtahid. Number 1, condition of ijtihad. And number 2, condition of mujtahid. In those 2 books of mine, Bidayatul Fuhul in Arabic and Fiqh ki Tarikh wa Irtiqa in Urdu. I have written it there. Got it? And thus, the ulama did an ijma that now no ijtihad mutlaq is allowed. Because regarding issues, the ijtihad is already done. Very rarely there will be an issue that you will not find its solution there in 4 mazahib or in the fatwas of their direct students like Abu Yusuf, Imam Muzani and Imam Muhammad. So very little will remain like modern things. So the rules of deduction are there. The quality of mujtahids are there. These 2 things must be taken into consideration, and then that alim would be asked that what is your opinion in this regard? And the people will be bound logically to follow and to listen to that alim. And that is called taqleed. What's it called? Taqleed. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them, Ta'alaw ila ma anzalallahu, that come to that which Allah has sent down. Wa ila rasul, and to the messenger. Qalu, they said, hasbuna ma wajadna alayhi aba'ana. Enough for us is that on which we have found our fathers. Mean culture. What was shirk? Culture, nothing else. So now Allah says, أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ أَيَتَّبِعُهُمْ وَلَوْ كَانُوا أَيَتَّبِعُونَ آبَاءَهُمْ وَلَوْ كَانُوا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. What do you say?
Yes.
Meaning wise, the wording will be like this. أَيَتَّبِعُونَ آبَاءَهُمْ وَلَوْ كَانُوا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. You wrote it? آبَاءَهُمْ وَلَوْ كَانُوا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Will they follow their fathers even though they do not understand anything? وَلَا يَعْتَدُونَ, and nor they are guided people. So once again, for a alim, three things are must to be followed. Number one, his ilm. Number two, his istidlal aqli. Why we are studying Imam Waliullah? To know istidlal aqli. Got it? And number three, the taqwa. How much he has the fear of God. Got it? If a alim, he does not have the fear of God, so look, a common layman, he will be eating donkey only. This is observed. Donkey is haram or halal? Haram. So a common layman, he will be eating donkey only. Yes? And that alim, who is alim? But he does not have the fear of God. He will not be leaving its hut even. He will eat that alim. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, when it is said to them, تَعَالَوْا come إِلَى مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ, to that which Allah has sent down, وَإِلَى الرَّسُولِ, and to the messenger. قَالُوا, they will say, حَسْبُنَا, enough for us is مَا وَجَدْنَا, that on which we have found abana, our fathers. أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ, will they follow them even though if they do not understand anything? وَلَا يَعْتَدُونَ, so لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا نَقْلًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ عَقْلًا. لَا يَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا نَقْلًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ إِلَيْهِ عَقْلًا. Would you have got it?
Yes.
Would you do you feel that this tafsir is getting revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You feel it or not?
Yes.
Okay. So what you wrote?
لا يعلمون
Shay'an?
شيئا.
So, naqlan. La ya'lamuna shay'an is the wording of Quran. What you are putting with? La ya'lamuna shay'an naqlan. Wa la yahtaduna ilayhi aqlan. You wrote it?
Yes.
How you wrote it?
لا يعلمون شيئا نقلا ولا يهتدون إليه عقلا.
Yes. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, or you who believe, alaykum anfusakum. So now, look, ayah number 104, that is rejecting shirk 100%. That there is no room for shirk. Tell them that your forefathers and your elders, they were jahil. They were ignorant and arrogant people. None of their practice is to be followed. So now, when you are challenging a culture, so the people in the community, they are getting offended or not?
Yes.
Say, they are getting offended and they say, Mullah Sahib is Gumrah. Yes. Mullah Sahib is what? He is Gumrah. Why? Because our forefathers were doing that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if your forefather, they were doing khartub, so still you will follow the khartub? Donkey hood? Got it? Say. The criterion is Quran and Sunnah are forefathers. Quran and Sunnah. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O you who believed, alaykum anfusakum, on you there are yourselves. On you there is yourselves. Then I will translate, I will explain. La yadurukum man dhalla iza tadaytum. The one who lost or who got lost, he cannot harm you. Iza tadaytum, when you are guided. When you have taken the guidance path, so those who are lost, they cannot harm you. Ilallahi marja'ukum, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is your return, all of you, jami'an. فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ, He will inform you بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, about that which you used to do. So now this ayah, عَلَيْكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Look at me. Yes. So surfacely meaning or obvious meaning of the ayah is take care of yourself. Let the people go to hell. Let the people go to hell. But Abu Bakr, radiyallahu ta'ala, when he was Khalifa, he was giving his sermon. He said, Ya ayyuhan nas, innakum taqra'una fi kitabillahi hazil ayah, la yadurrukum man dhalla idha tadaytum. They take care of yourself. If people are getting lost or they are becoming gumrah, azwalin, and they are not accepting haqq and truth, so it does not harm you. Means that you are not responsible for that. That's the obvious meaning of the ayah. But Abu Bakr said, وَإِنِّي سَمِعْتُ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ عَلَى هَذَا الْمِنْبَرِ. He said, I heard the messenger of Allah, he was standing on this minbar. And he was saying that مَنْ رَأَى مِنْكُمُ الظَّالِمِ فَلَمْ يَأْخُذْ بِيَدَيْهِ يُوشِكُ أَنْ يَأْخُذَهُ اللَّهُ بِعِقَابٍ مِّنْهُ. Who saw a zalim that he is doing zulm? He is transgressing the boundaries. He is transgressing the boundaries. He is doing wrong. And this guy did not hold his hand. So whatever azab will be befalling that zalim, the same azab will befall this guy as well. Got it? So it means that that hadith is contradicting this ayah. Because the ayah says, take care of yourself, correct yourself and reform yourself. Let the people go to hell. Got it? He said, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said like this, and there are so many hadiths. Like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi, fa in lam yastati fa bilisanihi, fa in lam yastati fa biqalbihi, wa zalika adhafu al-iman." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that whosoever saw a munkar means a bad thing, an evil thing. So he should change that thing with his hand if he has the power. And if not hand, so with his tongue. If he does not have that as well, فَبِقَلْبِهِ. From his heart, he hates it. وَذَلِكَ أَضْعَفُ الْإِيمَانِ. That is the very weakest stage of Iman. So now, the ulama said that the first thing, that is duty of rulers. Biyadeh. That is duty of whom? The rulers, because they have the danda, they have the stick, they have the power, they have the police, they have the shurta, they have the rangers. Just send it to that place and close that gambling place, or close whatever wrong is going on, and put the people to accountability. And the second is that of ulama, they have to speak out that this is haram, this is zulm. Got it? And the third one, that's of general public. Because if they say this is haram, people will ask them, how do you know that? So he's not a alim, he cannot say it. If he will pick up danda, yes, or stick, so people will ask him, who are you? You are a policeman? So what he is bound for? Yes, to hate it wholeheartedly. Not the people that practice. Because as we say, that hate the crime, not the criminal. Because if you will hate the criminal, so you will never try to reform him. And what is our duty? Yes. What is our duty? To hate the criminal or to reform them? Say, to reform them. Got it? So Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said that when Sami'tu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ala hadha al-mimbar, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was standing on this mimbar and he was saying so. Got it? So it means that this is not the meaning of ayah. So later on I will tell you that what is the proper meaning according to us. Shaykh Rahmatullahi alayhi, how he explained it. And another Sahabi, his name is Abu Salaba al-Khushani. Abu Salaba? Huh? Well, Yusuf? Abu Salaba al-Khushani, raziyallahu ta'ala an. He asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, I recited this ayah, alaykum anfusakum, la yadurrukum man dhalla idha ihtadaytum, fa aina al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahyu 'anil munkar. If everybody is involved in his own reformation and not taking care of others to reform them, so he said, Ya Rasulullah, then where amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy 'anil munkar stands? Because that's a fariza. That is not. That is what? That's not a kare sawab. That's a fariza, your duty. So فَإِنَّ الْأَمْرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَالنَّهْيُ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. Because this ayah and Amr bil Maruf both are contradicting one another. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in very much love with his Sahaba. Yes. And his Sahaba, oh, they were sacrificing themselves for his one single word. So he said, Basalaba, mur bil Maruf, wanha anil munkar. Do that. Do Amr bil Maruf and do Nahi anil munkar. Hatta iza ra'ayta shuhhan muta'an wa hawan muttaba'an wa dunya mutharatan wa i'jaba kulli zi ra'yin ra'ya. Well, Yusuf, write it down. That's where you will be looking in encyclopedia. That he said that Abasalaba mur bil ma'ruf, promote good, wanha anil munkar, prevent evils, and do that. You have an excuse not to do when four things are obvious. When four things are obvious everywhere, then you have an excuse. It doesn't mean that you should stop, but if you don't, so you have excuse. Hatta iza ra'ayta shuhhan muta'an, that people are too much greedy and too much misers. So a greedy and miser person, he will never listen to anybody, will he? Hatta iza ra'ayta shuhhan muta'an. And shuh is a combination of two things, greed and miserliness. And these two things, when they get together, yes, that's a chronic disease. And actually they are getting together. You will never see a miser person that he is not greedy. When he is miser, he is greedy. And you will never see a greedy person that he is too much generous. If he is generous, so how is greedy then? So that's called shuh. And there is a hadith. One tabi'i says that I was in tawaf. I was, say, in tawaf. And you will repeat it, so it will get printed in your ears and in your brain both. Then later on you can quote it. That an old man, very good looking, he was making tawaf as well. So in whole tawaf, I never heard any other dua from that man. But only dua he was doing, Allahumma qini shuhha nafsi. Oh Allah, protect me from shuh of my nature. Then for a while, and he said I was walking close by. So he was saying after a while, Allahumma qini shuhha nafsi. Allahumma qini shuhha nafsi. Allahumma qini shuhha nafsi. When tawaf was done, he accomplished and I completed. He prayed 2 rakat and I prayed 2 rakat and he was sitting. So I came to him and sat in front of him like a student. Yes, so I shook hand with him. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. So I asked him that Ismukal Kareem, your good name. So he said, Uda'a Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. My name is Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, one of the Ashara Mubashara. One of the Ashara Mubashara. Uda'a Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. So this Tabi says, I asked him, Amin al Ashara al Mubashara? As you know, because that's surprise. Amin al Ashara al Mubashara? That Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, who is one of the 10. So these people were very down to earth. That's why they were great people, greatest people. He said, Hakaza qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said that what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said. He didn't claim, even though that was certification. Yes, but he was not going to show any pride in this regard. He said, Hakaza qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said like this. So then I asked him that you were making tawaf. You are making only one dua again and again. Lamakini shuhha nafsi. Can you please tell me what's the wisdom behind? So he said, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam most of the time he was telling us, ittaqu ash-shuhha fa innahu ahlaka man kana qablakum. Avoid shuh because it has destroyed so many ummas before you. Ittaqu ash-shuhha fa innahu ahlaka man kana qablakum. أمرهم بالظلم فظلموا وبالفجور ففجروا وبالقطيعة فقطعوا. Mawli Yusuf, yes. I am giving you for every Jummah one khutbah. Yes? So write it down. اتقوا الشح فإنه أهلك من كان قبلكم أمرهم بالظلم فظلموا وبالفجور ففجروا وبالقطيعة فقطعوا. You wrote it? Repeat it.
اتقوا الشح فإنه أهلك من كان قبلكم أمرهم بالظلم فظلموا وبالفجور ففجروا وبالقطيعة فقطعوا.
Yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, avoid shuh. Don't be shahih. Because it has destroyed so many ummas before you. This was shuh, who inspired them for zulm, so they did zulm. Because a greedy person, he is a zalim. A miser person, he is a zalim. Amarahum bil-zulmi fa-zalamu wa bil-fujuri fa-fajaru. And this pushed them toward fujur. Fujur means every type of evil things. So they did it. وَبِالْقَطِيعَةِ فَقَطَعُوا. And this shuh forced them to cut off from your relatives and kith and kin. So they disconnected themselves from their close relatives even. Because a bakhil, miser, and a greedy person, he will not be in good relation with his relatives. Because if they will ask $10, so then what? Got it? Because such like person, he says, cheese me diham walakin inami diham. Yes, cheese put fill up the blanks. Cheese sumara me diham walakin nami diham. Yes. Look, Jamil is picking up these red lines. Jamil is a clever man. What do you think, Harun, about Jamil? Very smart? So Abu Salaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told me that mur bil urf, promote good, prevent evils. But when four things are prevailing in the community and society and in the world or where you are living, so then you have an excuse not to do that. When people are the muqallid of shuh, miserliness and greed, and number two, they are following their whims and desires. For them, their whim is like the ayah of Quran or the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَدُنْيَا مُوسَرَةً. And when world and worldly attachment is their first priority, وَإِعْجَابَ كُلِّ ذِي رَايٍ رَايَةٍ. And everybody thinking of himself that he is Socrates of this time. Yeah, so Socrates will never listen to anybody. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, with this four, yeah, subhanallah, what a beautiful hadith. That when these four things will overtake the society, so then they will not listen. But anyhow, still the azima and matter of strong will is, yes, promote the virtues and prevent the vices. But if you say, oh, it caused me anger, so then you have an excuse. So now what will be the interpretation of ayah? Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, or you who believed, alaykum anfusakum, wa kalimatu ala lilluzum. What do you say?
Yes.
Wa kalimatu ala lilluzum. Incumbent upon you is your own selves. La yadurrukum man dhalla iza tadaytum. Man dhalla, that is the file of yadur. La yadurrukum man dhalla iza tadaytum, when you are guided. So the one who has gone astray, he cannot harm you. He cannot harm you. So now what it means? Alaykum anfusakum. That incumbent upon you is yourself. Make yourself committed to the deen of Allah. Make yourself committed to the deen of Allah. So now the one who has gone astray, he cannot harm you. So what it means? When you are committed to the deen of Allah, so look at me, you will be practicing accordingly. Number one, you will be doing Amr bil Maruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Number two, you will be facing every difficulty for the good pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with smiling face. So now the harm of anybody will not be looking a harm to you, because you believe that that is my reward. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it clear. Got it? And that's why when a Sahabi Raziyallahu ta'ala, he was getting killed, so at that time he was saying Fustu Rabbil Kaaba. When he was dying in a battlefield, so he used to say Fustu Rabbil Kaaba, I swear by the Lord of Kaaba that I became successful. Got it? Alaykum anfusakum, on you is yourselves. La yadurrukum man dhalla, the one who has gone astray cannot harm you. Iza tadaytum, when you are guided. So now if somebody is on deen, and let's say that death most probable it happens where? When you are in the battlefield. When you are in the battlefield for the sake of Allah. So the Muslim in a battlefield, he is looking for death or looking for life? He is looking for death. So what else somebody can harm you? And that is looking a success to you. So it means that the harm concept is gone. The harming concept is totally gone from your mind. La yadurrukum man dhalla iza tadaytum. Ilallahi marji'ukum jami'a, to Allah is return of all of you. Fayunabbi'ukum, he will inform you bima kuntum ta'malun, about that which you used to do. In khairan fa khairun wa in sharran fa shar. If you were doing good, you will see good there. If you are doing evil, you will see evil there. Got it?
Yeah.
Or not it?
Yeah.
Ya ayyuhallazina amanu shahadatu bainakum idha hadara ahadakumul mautu. So here is a story, mostly shanun nuzul, or the historical background we do not mention in ayat, because our Imam Waliullah rahmatullahi alayh, he says adarrul ashya fi tafsir al-Quran shanun nuzul. Will you support what he says? Not fil Quran. Don't jump like this. Adarrul ashya fi tafsir al-Quran shanun nuzul. In interpreting the Quran, shanun nuzul and historical background, he said that's the very harmful thing, because that confine that ayah to a specific story, while Quranic ayah is not for a specific story. Yes, that is everlasting source of law. That is what? Everlasting source of life. You confine to your story, so it is a history. Got it? So that's why very rarely we are mentioning shanun nuzul. Otherwise, you will pick up the tafsir, or they will say waruwiya wa hukiya, waruwiya wa hukiya. Yes, and sometimes waqala fulan, Mufassir so and so said it's revealed in such a thing. Another Ibn Jarir said it revealed in such a thing, and then you will get confused. Yes, that one ayah was getting revealed a few times, or it revealed only once. So why this difference? So thanks to Shaykhul Islam. Thanks to whom? Which Shaykhul Islam? Say. Huh? Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullahi alayh. He said in Usul al-Tafsir very beautiful thing, that when the Mufassirin said this ayah is revealed in this, another said this ayah is revealed in this, a third one says in this. So he said that it doesn't mean that it revealed in different time for these different stories, but it revealed for one story, then it was applied to like of that. Then it was applied to the like of that. So the Mufassir, he narrated like as it is revealed in this story also. Got it? So here this is one of those ayah that without shan nuzul you will not understand it. So the story is a slave of Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala an. His name is Budail ibn Abi Maryam. Budail ibn Abi Maryam. He was going on a business trip to Sham. And the area, only the Christians were living there. He was there in Sham, in the area for business. Only the Christians were living there. So he fell sick. And he was close to death. He was dying. So at that time, in Jahiliyat, warasat was not there. Wasayat was there. When somebody was dying, so he was saying that this much to Mr. So, and this much to so, and this much to so, and this much to so. Got it? Also, if somebody, he was dying somewhere, and he had some wealth, so at that time, the banks were not there, or it was, say, so if they had some stuff, valuable stuff, so they used to make someone a trustee for that this is my stuff, take it to my family. That he died, this is the stuff. So Budail, he was looking for someone to take his stuff back to his family. And two people, they were Christian, both of them. Later on they became Muslim. One is Tamim ad-Dari, a famous Sahabi. And the second one is Adi ibn Bada. Both of them were Christians. Now no Muslim was there. So he asked them if they can do him a favor. They said what? He said, you see, I'm going to die, but I have this stuff of mine. So you will take it to my family. He said, okay, we will. But in that stuff of him, there was a goblet. What it called in Urdu, Pashto or Persian? Jam. What? You know jam? Yes, a big thing like a big pot. You are drinking water. Or you are using it for different stuff. Jam. In English that is called Goblet. Gablet. So that was a big jam like this, made of silver, but decorated with golden nails. Yes, embroidered with golden nails. So it means very precious things. Very. And that's why they said that we sold it for 1,000 dinar. For how much? 1,000 dinar. So when they got the stuff, Budel, they buried him there. They buried him. But they said, very valuable thing. So they sold it for 1,000 dinar somewhere, that we will tell his family that this is the stuff he has given us. Got it? So when they brought the stuff back, and they gave it to the family, and family was aware of the stuff, so they asked him, but where is the jam? They said, what jam? Said he had a jam made of silver, embroidered with gold. They said, we don't know. Where is that? And they believed it. They believed it. But later on, 1 year later, it was found somewhere in Arafat with somebody. So the family asked, where from the jam came to you? That is our forefather. So they said, we bought it. Said, where from you bought it? So they said, from Tamim and Adi. From who? From Tamim and Adi. So now they were summoned to Masjid by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Got it? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he asked them after Salat Asr. That was a coincidence. That was Salat Asr. So after Salat Asr, come forward. The jam, they say, we don't know it. Take an oath in the Lord of Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam, who revealed Bible to Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. Because to every people, you have to give an oath in the name of their own deen. Yes or not? What they believe. So they took an oath. Yes, but the family, they were not satisfied. They were not satisfied. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you are going to belie them, so come forward, and you two people, you should take an oath that they are telling lies. You should take an oath that they are telling lies. And they took an oath, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he decreed in favor of the family. So this is the story. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, and here from one thing, that is there any room for a non-Muslim to testify against a Muslim? So Jumhur says there is no way. وَلَنْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا. Because they have enmity, so mostly they will be telling lie in their testimony against a Muslim. Yes or not? After 9/11, how many lies they said against Muslim, and so many Muslims? Yes, they got charged for a thing which they have not done. Because of what? Enmity. The testimony was because of what? Because of enmity. Got it? Or they were framing them. So Jumhur said, no. But Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi says, if they are zimmis, so amongst themselves they can testify in a court of law against one another. Christian against Christian, or Jew against Jew, or whatever. Baba, once again, he is a man. Yes, he knows law, how to dissect the law. Now you will say that what about non-Muslim country? You subjugated yourself to them. Yes, you cannot say, oh, but Jumhur said this is not allowed. That's your Jumhur. As son of Jumhur, get out of here. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O you who believed, shahadatu bainakum iza hazara hadakumul mautu. that testimony amongst you is ahazara hadakumul mautu, when death came to one of you, hin al wasiyati, in the time of wasiya and will or bequest, isnani, so that shahadat is of two people. Shahadat and testimony will be of two, because in Sharia also, Sharia, sufficient testimony is by one is not enough. How many? Two. Only in case of zina, there are four. Isnani, two men, zawagadlim milkum, up to just men of your own folk, mean the Muslims. Aw akharani min ghayrikum, or two others from outside, non-Muslims. As here the case was of non-Muslim. Tamim Dari and Adi, both of them were Christians. Aw akharani, or two others, min ghayrikum, from out of you, in antum zarabtum fil ardi, if you are traveling through the land, because that was the case, that all three they were traveling there for trade. In antum zarabtum fil ardi, if you are traveling for trade, if you are traveling in the land, fa asabatkum musibatul mauti, and the calamity of death befalls you, tahbisunahuma min ba'di salati, you will detain them both after salati asr. After. So now Jumhur said for testimony, that testimony must be in masjid, and that must be after salat, and especially after salati asr, because that is in the text of Quran. Imam Rahmatullah said that is a coincidence. That is what? Say, that's a coincidence that this case was heard by Rasulullah after Salat Asr. Got it? Otherwise, court has its own premises, and there the testimony and the qasam and the oath is taking place. Or after every 10-15 minutes, the judge will say, let's go to masjid, because another oath. And come back, yes, and the case is going on, and after half an hour, let's go to masjid, because testimony is to take place. Imam Rahmatullah, that was coincidence at that time, no any separate court premises were there. Court premises, especially, it was made by Sayyidina Usman radiallahu ta'ala an. Got it? Otherwise, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, masjid was used as a court. In time of Abu Bakr and Umar, masjid was used as a court. Tahbisunahuma min ba'di salati, you will detain them after prayer. Fayuqsimani billahi, detain them after prayer. In irtabtum, if you have doubt that they have sold it. If you have doubt me that they have sold it. Tahbisunahuma min ba'di salati, fayuqsimani billahi, and they will take an oath in the name of Allah. In irtabtum, if you have doubt, la nashtari bihi samanan, and they will be saying, in their oath, they will be saying, La nashtari bihi samanan, that we are not taking any worldly things for this. Yes, that we have nothing to do with the jam. La nashtari bihi samanan, walau kana za qurba, even though if the beneficiary be near relative. If the beneficiary is the near relative. Wala naktumu shahadat Allah, and they will say in their oath that we are not going to conceal the testimony of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, means that we are not going against the reality. Testimony of Allah is that He knows everything. So we are not going against the testimony of Allah. Wala naktumu shahadat Allah, and we are not going to conceal the testimony of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna izalla min al-asimina law fa'alna. Inna izalla min al-asimina law fa'alna. We were or we will be of the sinful people if we concealed the testimony of Allah. فَإِنْ غُثِرَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُ مَسْتَحَقَّ إِسْمًا, but if later on it got known, عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُمَا فَإِنْ غُثِرَ اُطُّلِعَ. فَإِنْ غُثِرَ mean اُطُّلِعَ. If later on if was got known ala annahuma istahaqqa isman, that these two people had been guilty of sin because they have taken oath not truly, is a lie, that is a sin. Ala annahuma istahaqqa isman, that these two guys had been guilty of sin. Fa'akharane yaqumane maqamahuma, so let two others stand forth in their places. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was taking oath from them close to the member. That come here close to the member. Like as you know, that in court there is a podium. Yes. For everyone who is making a statement. So he is sitting there in the back row. So therefrom he starts, or he come to the proper place. Because therefrom talking, it does not have any legal value. Legal value depending upon the specific place. So there Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought him close to the member. So now, when they did, so the family said, they are telling lies. So now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was putting two of the family members of Budail, that one by one come here. Now you should take an oath. فَإِنْ عُسِرَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُمَا يَسْتَحَقَّا إِسْمًا فَآخَرَانِ, then let two others يَقُومَانِ مَقَامَهُمَا, to stand forth in their places. مِنَ الَّذِينَ, but they will be from those استحق عليهم الأوليان, but they will be of those who claim a lawful right. استحق عليهم الأوليان اسما, that against whom these two previous people or witnesses or oath takers, they have committed that sin against them because they lied against them. فَيُقْسِمَانِ بِاللَّهِ, so these two people from the family, they will take an oath in Allah. لَشَهَادَتُنَا حَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا, that our testimony is أَحَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا, that is much more righter than their testimony. So now why? They were two and they were two. They were two. They testified that we don't know. They were two, that they have sold it. So why? These two have the priority over those two. This is a legal point. This is what? Because it has support. They did not have any support for their testimony. And here there was support. What was the support? Yes, the physical evidence was there. The jam was there. And the guy who bought it, he was there as well. That this is a jam, I have bought it from these two guys. Look how beautifully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, the physical evidence as a support, he brought it. لَشَهَادَتُنَا حَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا وَمَا تَدَيْنَا, and we have not done any wrong because we have not put any blame on them. We have not put any blame on them. The circumstantial evidence that our father, for example, our brother died, he had the stuff. He entrusted that stuff to these two guys. Among the stuff, there was a jam. That jam was not found. These are called circumstantial evidence. They are called what? Circumstantial evidence. And then the guy said, I bought it from these guys. So the physical evidence is there and a supportive statement also. Yeah, you have to make it like this. That's what I told you a few times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought me from court to masjid. Otherwise, I would have been a very shaitan attorney. So Allah saved me. لَشَهَادَتُنَا حَقُّ مِنْ شَهَادَتِهِمَا وَمَا تَدَيْنَا, and we have not violated the rules. إِنَّا إِذًا لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ إِنْ فَعَلْنَا. We would have been zalim if we would have put any charge against them for no reason. The reasons are there. The base is there. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى أَن يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَى وَجْهِهَا. So that should make it closer to the fact that their testimony would be in true nature. أَوْ يَخَافُوا أَن تُرَدَّ أَيْمَانٌ بَعْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ. Or somebody who is making a statement and taking an oath, so he will be having a fear that maybe the judge will ask against me somebody else to come and to testify and to take an oath. So my oath will be rejected by the oath of that guy. So that's why he will be avoiding to tell lie in his testimony. He will not do perjury. Allah said, yes, keep the process like this. ذَلِكَ أَدْنَى, that is very much closer. أَن يَأْتُوا بِالشَّهَادَةِ عَلَى وَجْهِهَا, that people may testify in the proper way. People may testify? Mawli Yusuf, ala wajhi, I mean? In the proper way. أَوْ يَخَافُوا, or they will be having a fear, أَن تُرَدَّ أَيْمَانٌ بَعْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ, that other oaths would be admitted after their oaths. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, and fear Allah. وَاسْمَعُوا, and listen. وَاللَّهُ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْفَاسِقِينَ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the fasiq people. Fasiq mean rebellious. Allah does not guide the rebellious people. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ. So now this was a story which gave us the process of testimony and oath in court, how it should be. Now, Kitab al-Iman, Kitab al-Da'wah, and Kitab al-Bayyanat. Holy Yusuf, how many chapters are there in fiqh or in hadith? Number 1, Kitab al-Da'wah. What? Kitab al-Da'wah. The second one, Kitab al-Bayyanat. Kitab Bayyanat. And the third one, Kitab al-Iman. What? Kitab al-Dawah, the claim. What? The claim. And Kitab al-Bayyanat, the testimony. What? The testimony. And Kitab al-Iman, the oath. So 3 things are there. There is Dawah, number 1. There is testimony, there is oath. Got it? But these are 3. Yeah, here is only 1 ayah, but they are in a hadith. Here is that big a book. Yes, Kitab al-Dawah, Kitab al-Bayyana, Kitab al-Iman. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the same process will be taking place on the day of judgment as well. That these are small courts, there will be the big court. Here a human will be a judge, and there Allah will be a judge. So this is the connection of the coming ayah with this ayah. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ. On the day when Allah will gather together the messengers. فَيَقُولُ, and He will say and ask them, مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ, what was the response you received from people? All these messengers will be standing in front of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask them one by one, what response you received from your people? This court. This what? This is a court. Court of whom? Allah. Yes, subhanallah. Oh Allah, make it easy for all of us. Oh Allah, make it easy for all of us. Oh Allah, make it easy for all of us. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُ اللَّهُ الرُّسُلَ. The day when Allah will gather together the messengers. فَيَقُولُ, He will say, asking them, مَاذَا أُجِبْتُمْ, what response you received from your people? قَالُوا, so they will say, لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا, we don't know. We know means in detail we don't know. Means in detail, because somebody said in front of a messenger, yes, his reaction. So that was known to him. But what the people were plotting against them in the absence of the messenger was not aware of. Yes, and that is much more bigger than this response which they gave them on face. Got it? That crime is much more bigger, plotting against the messenger. So that's why they say, La ilma lana. Innaka anta allamul ghuyub. You know every minute thing, O Allah. قالوا, they will say, La ilma lana, we have no knowledge. Innaka anta allamul ghuyub. Verily, only you are the all-knower of all that is hidden or unseen. You know unhidden thing. You know the hidden thing, and we don't know. Got it? So now that is a general case of all the messenger. But as in that case, 2 Christians were involved who were believing in Jesus as Lord. Who were believing in Jesus? So right after that, Allah said, إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ, when Allah will say, O Isa, son of Mary, اُذْكُرْ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكَ. Uzkur ni'mati alayka, O Isa, son of Mary, remember my favor to you. Wa ala walidatika, and to your mother, is ayyatuka biruhil qudus, because I have supported you with the Holy Ghost. I have supported you with the Holy Ghost. Tukallimun nasa, kunta tukallimun nasa. Tukallim, because this address is on the day of judgment. That Allah will say to Isa, that Isa, remember my favor to you and to your mom. Yes, that Ruhul Qudus, he was giving you support. Tukallimun nasa, kunta tukallimun nasa. Kunta? Or Yusuf? Kunta tukallimun nasa, you were talking to people. Fil madi, in cradle, when you were a newborn baby. And very eloquent speech, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, he gave there when he was in cradle. Surah Maryam. Got it? Take it from ayah number 16. Up to ayah number 34. وَذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Maryam, and mention in the book the story of Maryam, is intabazat min aliha, when she withdrew herself in seclusion, makanan sharqiya. He withdrew herself from her family to a place facing east. To a place facing east. Or makanan sharqiya, from their own village. Maryam, she went to that place. Got it? That's called Nazareth. What's called? Nazareth. Yes, in Arabic they call it Nasra. Yes, and there is a special group of Christian and they have their own church, Nazarian church. Yes. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِنْ دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. She placed a screen from them to take shower. فَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْهَا رُوحَنَا. So we sent to her our Ruh, Angel Jibreel. فَتَمَثَّلَ لَهَا بَشَرًا سَوِيًّا. And he appeared before her in the form of a man. In a form of a completely man. قَالَتْ, so she said, إِنِّي أَعُوذُ بِالرَّحْمَنِ مِنْكَ. Verily I seek refuge with the most beneficent from you. إِن كُنْتَ تَقِيًّا, if you have fear of Allah. That I'm a strange woman, I'm taking shower, how you came here? قال, he said, إِنَّمَا أَنَا رَسُولُ رَبِّكِ. I am the messenger of your Lord. لِأَهَبَ لَكِ غُلَامًا زَكِيًّا. لِأَهَبَ لَكِ غُلَامًا زَكِيًّا, to gift you غُلَامًا, a boy, زَكِيًّا, a pure boy. A what? A pure boy. غُلَامًا زَكِيًّا. لِأَهَبَ لَكِ غُلَامًا زَكِيًّا بِأَمْرِ اللَّهِ. Because Jibreel cannot give any son to anybody. So بِأَمْرِ اللَّهِ, by the leave of Allah. قالت, she said, Anna yakunu li ghulamun. This Anna is the meaning of Mawli Yusuf. What? Kaifa. Anna yakunu. Why? I gave you the rule. You remember?
Yes.
Why?
After Anna is the fi'al then.
Yes. Anna yakunu li ghulamun. Kaifa yakunu li ghulamun. How I will have a son. Walam yamsasni basharun binikahin. Walam yamsasni basharun. No any man has touched me with nikah. Walam aku baghiya, nor I am an unchaste woman that somebody has touched me bisafah. Walam aku baghiyan hatta yamassani basharun bisafahin. Hatta massani basharun bisafahin. I have never been touched by a man in a legitimate way, nor in illegitimate way. Got it? Qala, Allah said, Kazalik. Same will be the situation, or this will be the situation. Qala Rabbuke. Qala, the Ruhul Qudus said, Kazalik. This will be the situation. Nothing will change. Qala Rabbuke, your Lord said, Huwa alayhi hayyinun, that is very easy for me. Huwa alayhi hayyinun kasairil umur. It doesn't mean that this was easy for Allah and something else is difficult for Allah. So that's why we are putting a word, Mawli Yusuf? Kasairil umur. That is easy for us like all other affairs. Because everything is easy for Allah. And keep in mind that there are two things. One is khalq and one is amr. Khalq is the physical word and amr is metaphysical. Khalq is what word? Physical word. So physics has its own rules. Things are happening according to the rules of physics. But Allah, the Creator, He is not subject to the rules of physics. When He does a thing, He does it with Amr. He does not do it with physics. Yes. Where is His laboratory? In CISA? He does not have any laboratory there in CISA. Allah's laboratory for physics. Yes, He is coming to make something. Yes. No. He is doing metaphysically. وَلِنَجْعَلَهُ آيَةً لِلنَّاسِ نَخْلُقَهُ لِنَخْلُقَهُ وَنَجْعَلَهُ. Because this word is عاطفة. لِنَخْلُقَهُ وَنَجْعَلَهُ. That we may create him and make him آيَةً لِلنَّاسِ. A sign for people. A sign for people for two things. Number one, Allah does things metaphysically. Allah does things metaphysically. And number two, that the one who can do this, he can give you people a new life after death. وَرَحْمَةً مِّنَّا, as a mercy from our side. وَكَانَ أَمْرًا مَقْضِيًّا, and that is a decreed issue. That is what? A decree. And when Allah decrees a thing, He does not withdraw. So with this one word, Ruhul Qudus made up her mind that is a decreed issue. So it doesn't matter that what happened, this will happen for sure. فَحَمَلَتْهُ, so she right away, فَحَمَلَتْهُ, she conceived him. Right away she felt it. فَحَمَلَتْهُ فَانْتَبَذَتْ بِهِ مَكَانًا قَصِيًّا, and she withdrew with him to a far place. Because when she conceived, so a pious girl, a pious virgin lady, when she conceived a hamal, or a pregnancy, she will be thinking of suicide even. Yes. فَانْتَبَذَتْ بِهِ مَكَانًا قَصِيًّا. So she withdrew with him to a far place, and that far place is Nazareth. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ إِلَى جِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. So in riwayat it is said that this whole process took only 3 hours. The whole process took only 3 hours. في 3 ساعات. So here the pregnancy happened. Here she moved to Nazareth. And here the cramp started. What started? Delivery pain, cramp. C-R-A-M-P. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ. Makhaz is cramp. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ إِلَى جِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. So the pains of childbirth drove her to a trunk of a dead palm tree. To a trunk of a dead palm tree. قالت, she said, because at that time that the woman, they are in need of leaning to something because of pain. To lean to some, so she was leaning to that trunk. قالت, she said, يا ليتني مت قبل هذا. Would that I had died before this. وكنت نسيا منسيا. And had that I was forgotten totally. فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني. فناداها من تحتها ألا تحزني. So now look, there is a creek where she was leaning to a different tree. So beneath there is a water creek. But water is not there. That's for flood water. Got it? There's such a creek where only in rain the flood is coming. Got it? Still that is there. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala liberate Palestine to visit all those areas. These are Quranic lands. These are Quranic land. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ. They said that this is Tawrat land. They said what? There's Tawrat. We say Tawrat was before Quran. Yes? If somebody purchased this place today and another one, he purchased it tomorrow from this guy. So whose claim will be the proper claim? The latest one. Who? Yes. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ إِلَى جِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. The pain of childbirth drove her to a trunk of a dead palm. قالت, she said, يَا لَيْتَنِي مِتُّ قَبْلَ هَذَا وَكُنْتُ نَسْيًا مَنْسِيًّا. Because a pious lady can think like this. For example, if a lady, may Allah forgive and forbid, say Ameen. May Allah forgive and forbid, say Ameen. May Allah forgive and forbid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the chastity of the mothers and daughters and wives and sisters and kith and kin of everyone. Because we are living in a very dirty time. This is a very filthy time. Is it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, may Allah protect everyone. Yes? So a pious girl, if she is forced to such like bad act, and she conceived, so she will be thinking like this. Die before that, and to be forgotten. فَنَادَاهَا مِنْ تَحْتِهَا. From the creek side, Jibril appeared there, and therefrom he called on her. فَنَادَاهَا مِنْ تَحْتِهَا. And Mawli Yusuf, Mutawatir or Shaz? فَنَادَاهَا مَنْ تَحْتَهَا. Say. Check it. Mutawatir or Shaz? Mawli Yusuf, whole ilm is in his hand. Ours is in brain, and his one is. Anyhow, later on you can check it. فَنَادَاهَا مِنْ تَحْتِهَا. فَنَادَى جِبْرِيلُ مِنْ تَحْتِهَا. Got it? عَنِ السَّرِي. عَنِ إيش? عَنِ السَّرِي. From the creek. فَنَادَاهَا مِن تَحْتِهَا, from the creek, Jibreel called on her. That is one meaning. And the second qiraat which I was telling him, minna, man. Not min, but man. فَنَادَاهَا مَن تَحْتَهَا وَهُوَ الْمَوْلُودُ. وَهُوَ الْمَوْلُودُ. She delivered the baby. So, the time did not pass that much. He was still under her legs. فَنَادَاهَا مَن تَحْتَهَا, so the baby, the newborn baby, the infant. فَنَادَاهَا مَن تَحْتَهَا وَهُوَ عِيسَى أو هو المولود. فَنَادَاهَا مَن تَحْتَهَا, so Isa, the newborn baby, called on her. Allah tahzani, Mom, don't worry. Allah tahzani, qad ja'ala rabb. So metaphysically, something if like that happened. Yes, so all the worries are gone, that Allah is with me. With this only one word of Jesus, she got relaxed. Allah tahzani, that worry not. Qad ja'ala rabbuka tahtaki sariya. Your Lord has provided a water stream under you. That was dried, right away it started. It was, no water was there. So now the date palm tree, it was a dry date palm tree. Not a green one. And the creek, it was dry as well. And at that time, because only the mothers know that how difficult that time is, delivery time, and how much they are in need of drinks and in need of things like that. So water at that time is much more needed. So he said, قَدْ جَعَلَ رَبُّكَ تَحْتَكِ سَرِيًّا. Water channel started. قَدْ جَعَلَ رَبُّكَ تَحْتَكِ سَرِيًّا. Your Lord has provided a water stream under you. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, and shake the trunk of date palm towards you. Dry branches, but shake it. That's what metaphysically, all the happenings were metaphysical. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ, هُزِّي, hushi. وَهُشِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ يَحَرِّكِ, hushi وَحَرِّكِ. What more, Yusuf? Hushi وَحَرِّكِ. وَهُشِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, and shake the trunk of date palm towards you. Now look, hold the branch like this, do like this, not like this, towards you. Got it? Otherwise, when you are getting from the tree, so you shake it like this, shake it, but that is the routine process. This was metaphysical, so Allah says the process should be like this. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. Otherwise, there was no need of إِلَيْكِ. What Yusuf? Yes. There was no need of إِلَيْكِ. وَهُزِّي بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. Just shake it. No. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ, towards you, downward. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, and وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِزْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, and shake the trunk of date palms towards you. تُسَاقِطْ عَلَيْكِ رُطَبًا جَنِيًّا. تُسَاقِطْ عَلَيْكِ. تُسَاقِطْ. What is the file of تُسَاقِطْ? What is your test? جِزْعُ النَّخْلَةِ. تُسَاقِطْ a جِزْعُ النَّخْلَةِ. Yes. Yes. It will let fall alayke, upon you, rutaban janiya, fresh ripe dates. Yes, in seconds. Yeah, the dates were grown. In second, it became ripe and it was fresh. تساقط عليك رطبا جنيا فكلي من الرطب واشربي من السري وقري عينا بولدك. Mawli Yusuf, still you do not believe in my walayat. Are you believe? Yes. Huh? You are a munkir or you are a muqir? Muqallid. Okay. فكلي من الرطب, so eat of the dates. washribi min as-sari, and drink of the creek. وَقَرِّ عَيْنًا بِوَلَدِكِ, and be happy with your baby. So 3 things. You need food, you need drink, and you need happiness. فَكُلِي, so eat from the dates, and that is needed. Because at that time, what is needed? Say, carbs a lot. What? Carbs a lot. Fakuli, so eat of the dates and full nutrition. And that is the full nutrition. Yes, in other food, something will be available and some other things are not available. What is the need of body, that is available there. And that's why Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi says in Kitab al-Iman, وَلَوْ حَلَفَ لَا يَأْكُلُ الْفَوَاكِهِ. If somebody will take an oath, I swear to Allah that I will never eat fruit. So لا يحنسه بأكل الرمان والتمر. His half is not broken if he ate the dates or he ate the pomegranate. But at that time, they Baba. So Abu Yusuf asked him that, Baba, why there is not fruit? He said, no. Yes, date is food. That is full nutrition. So he said, pomegranate. Imam Abdullah said, flower. That's not fruit. That's flower. Otherwise, all other fruits, yes, the flowers come, they throw it down. Yes, and the pomegranate, the flower itself turned to the fruit. So Imam said, that is not. Durrani said, Professor, what do you think about this great Baba? Huh? Ingenious. God gifted. Actually what? Otherwise at that time, science was not that much ahead. All these sciences, how he was picking it. Khalil, that's why I'm telling you that come and attend, because you have a lot of educated friend, so you will, give them educated. That's not scripted one. Okay. وَهُزِّي إِلَيْهِ فَكُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّي عَيْنًا فَإِمَّا تَرَيِنَّ مِنَ الْبَشَرِ أَحَدًا, and if you will see min al-bashari, from human, ahadan, anyone. So they will be for sure asking, you are not a married girl, where from this son is. فَقُولِي, so say, إِنِّي نَظَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا, that verily I have vowed a fast unto the most beneficent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So fasting is for food and drink? No. In their Sharia, the word fasting was from talk as well. Got it? They were not eating, not drinking, nor talking. When somebody vowed a fast to Allah. فَقُولِي إِنِّي نَظَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا. So I have vowed a fasting for the beneficent. فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنْسِيًّا. So I cannot speak, or I shall not speak to any human this day. فَأَتَتْ بِهِ قَوْمَهَا تَحْمِلُهُ, and then she brought the baby, قَوْمَهَا, to her people, تَحْمِلُهُ, carrying him. قَالُوا Ya Maryamu, so right away they said, Ya Maryamu, O Maryam, laqad jete shay'an fariya, that indeed you have brought a thing which is fariya. Fariya mean kazibatun azimatun. Fariya mean kazibatun azimatun. You have brought a very big forgery. This is a forged thing. This is what? A forged thing. F-O-R-G-E. Got it? لَقَدْ جِئْتِ شَيْئًا فَرِيًّا Ya ukhta Harun, O the sister of Harun. So that was a muhawara or proverb in the society. Harun was known for his piety. Harun, he was example. He was what? Like as in Afghanistan, when people are referring to her, you are as pious like Sakhi Sahib. Got it? Or we say in our area that you are like Pir Baba. Pir Baba was Sayyid Ali Tirmizi rahmatullahi alayhi, was a wali of Allah. So regarding pious people, yes, or somebody, if he's pretending that he is pious, so we say, this is Pir Baba. Yes, got it? To make a fun of him, we say, he is a Pir Baba. But sometimes we show it in a serious sense and sometimes in a funny sense. So they were saying it not in a funny sense, that you were known for your piety. We were thinking of you like you are the sister of Harun, the pious man. Ya Ukhta Harun. This is not the Harun alayhi salatu wasalam. Harun was one man who was known for his piety in the community. Ya Ukhta Harun, ma kana abuki imra'a saw'in. Your father was not a man of bad or evil. Wa ma kanat ummuki baghiya, and not your woman was an unchaste woman. So your father, Imran, he was known for his piety. And your mom, Hannah, her name is Hannah. So she was not an unchaste woman, but she was a chaste woman. Ma kana abuki imra'a saw'in wa ma kanat ummuki baghiya fasharat ilayha. So look at me. Yes. She was not speaking. She said to the baby, ask him. You are telling people? Ask him. Fasharat ilayh. So she pointed to him. Qalu, they say, kayfa nukallimu? How can we speak? Man to that one kana fil madi sabiya, who is an infant in cradle. So they didn't ask him, but he was hearing. Jesus was hearing. The infant, he was hearing them. So therefrom he started giving a speech. Qala inni Abdullah, he said, I am this true slave servant of Allah. Atani al-kitaba. He has given me the book, mean decreed. He has given me the book, mean decreed. Atani al-kitaba, he has given me the book. Waj'alani nabiyya, and he has made me a prophet. Waj'alani mubarakan, and he has made me a blessed one. Enama kuntu, wherever I am, wa awsani, and he has enjoined on me bis salati, the prayer, was zakati, and the zakat, ma dumtu hayya, as long as I am alive. Wa barram biwalidati, and to be dutiful to my mother. Wa lam yaj'alni jabbaran shaqiya, and he has not made me arrogant and unblessed guy. Wassalamu alayya yawma wulidtu, and salam and peace be upon me the day when I was born. Wa yawma amutu, and the day when I will die. Wa yawma ub'asu hayya, and the day when I shall be raised alive. So now Isa, he made this first statement or first bayan. This was not scripted. Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. Zalika. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, the Christians, what are you talking about? Or the Jews, what are you talking about? You are making Jesus illegitimate son of Yusuf al-Najjar, or the Jews. And you are making him either the son of God or God himself. What nonsense you both are talking. He himself never claimed that I am son of God or I am God. Has ever Jesus ﷺ claimed?
No.
So Allah said, he disclosed himself what he is and who he is. So Allah says, Zalika Isa ibn Maryam. This is Isa ibn Maryam. What he said? قول الحق الذي يقول قول الحق. قول الحق الذي mean? يقول قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون. He is speaking the truth and the people have doubt therein. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله أصحابه أجمعين. So for tonight that's enough, because we took a lot.